Here we go again. It's another one of those, it's been a long time since I've played it situation, so I'm really rusty right now. Which is not a good place to be when you're about to do this jump. Which isn't really that hard a jump, it's just, I'm rusty, right? There's two far more difficult jumps you have to do just before this. Actually, the most immediately previous jump is easy, but then there's two hard jumps before that one. This one is medium. It all has to do with mitigating the bounce. So you tend to want to push down with the hammer once you like latch it on to wherever you're jumping to. But if you do that, there's a tendency to make yourself bounce up off what you're jumping to, and having like a steady hammer is better. It's just counterintuitive that way. And that's one of the many ways in which this game is so frustrating. Although it is actually probably the primary way is like the bounce. Because how you would intuitively move your hammer causes the bounce. Okay. Hey-ya! And then this one is kind of tricky because you cannot see where you're landing. What worked rather well for me from previous times is kind of just putting myself where I am right now, approximately, and then just kind of pushing off there, and that gets you, like, close. Ideally, if you miss, you just swing the hammer in the direction you use to grab the snowman, the inverted snowman. But, for some reason, my mind can't really work that fast, and it just doesn't happen. Anyway. Yeah. Now I'm back here. This jump, for some reason, for me is extremely difficult, and I don't know why. It probably just comes down to just sheer impatience, right? I can't get in the right position because I'm not willing to micro adjust until I'm in the right position. That's a little bit too far hanging off. Whatever. I'll be impatient and work with it. I don't know why that one failed. So that jump to the snowman was short, right? So I want to move like a little bit further to the left on that ball. Next time. And then you make brain farts. Whatever. I'll try. This is very unlikely to work, but I'll try it anyway. And that mindset, which I tend to have, is probably what's preventing me from completing this jump. Because if it's not just right, you're not going to get it. So it's not just right, why bother? Yeah, you can get decent height off the one just lower there. It's just, I don't know if decent height is enough height. Yeah, if you hit this one just right, you can get it like, just like perfect. Maybe that's too much to ask. Yeah, and there's also the possibility I'm trying now of like landing it like this and just. The problem with that is the consequences of missing are get thrown back and annoying him out to redo these moves. Need more working space for the mouse. Ah. There's an awkward pause there. I was like thinking about something completely different. I forgot I was recording. Is it silly? Which happens a lot in this. Oh, I was surprised that the hammer even hit the rock there.
No.
Okay, I'm probably far enough over I can withstand punching over top of this. There you go. Okay. I can't. With that jump, I know I'm really bad at this, but I feel like there's some trick to that I don't know or don't understand yet because it's hard to believe it's that hard. Anyway. I feel like I'm making it harder than it needs to be somehow. Again, that bounce. I didn't manage the bounce correctly.
No.
Again, didn't manage the bounce right. I like pushed down again or something. I don't know. Well, that wasn't. I can get deeper. There we go. Well, I keep catching it. I'm not missing entirely, but I don't have the bounce is always bouncing me off. Okay, that's my first miss.
No. Oh.
Well, that was weird. That was a lucky nail. Okay. I expected that to bounce and it just didn't. Ah, it's not quite. You can get higher. You can get higher. I guess not. Okay, this is one of those slow ones. One. Okay, mouse up the edge of the desk problems there. I have my mouse sensitivity on pretty high, but sometimes that still happens. Yes, if you're not familiar with my, you can tell from watching like gameplay of a lot of the games I play that I like my mouse sensitivity really high. As evidenced by like all the jolting around that tends to happen, but I just don't like moving my arm long distances across my desk, right? I just like moving my wrist little bits. So I always play on really high sensitivity. It's not because I'm like a really good gamer or something. It's just because I don't like big motions of my arm. It's not even just like my space for my mouse is small. I can have a really big space for my mouse. It's just I don't like moving it a lot.
What? What?
It makes me nervous because the snow on the snowman has slightly lower friction than the other surfaces in the game. So if you go a little bit over, you can actually like start sliding off of it. But that's actually not quite the right position. I want to be a little bit more off the edge than that. So I can move a tiny bit. There, that's probably about right. Although I tend to jump short on this, don't I? Oh well, we're gonna go for it. Oh! Ah! Yep, I jumped short. I do this jump that always seems like I'm making it harder than it needs to be. I don't know why it's so hard for me. Okay. Okay, I went too vertical because I thought I could because I was hanging off the edge so much. I should have still gone more to the right.
What? What?
actually believed I could save that. Wouldn't it be so great if I did? Okay. Well, that session was only about half an hour, but I'm over it. Not actually. You know, it's like I'm over it in the bad way, not in the way you're supposed to be. So I'm going to end this one here, and we'll pick up next time here. Guess the highest I got this session is the snowman, which is not the highest I've gotten, period. I've gotten one rock past the snowman, but I got to the snowman at least. And I'll try again when I'm in a more accurate mood. Yesterday night, I decided to go bowling for some reason. And you know how bowling goes, right? I tried to push the ball exactly right down the middle, right down in the line between the wood that makes up the lane. That's like right in the center, right at that, where you see, about a third of the way down those arrows, right, that go in the triangle, right at that center arrow, right halfway between the ones on either side. Just push it just straight down. And the ball would roll out of my fingers in strange ways, or just wouldn't go exactly where I'm trying to get it to go. I got a little bit better luck using a slightly lighter ball, like using a 10-pound ball as opposed to a 12-pound ball, which I was trying to do earlier. And that was kind of difficult to do because I have to admit that it's my inability to control where the ball is going is not just a control issue, it's also a physical strength issue, where I just can't control the 12-pound ball. But anyway, a bunch of people from my organic chemistry class were there. And in the end, I was the one who scored the second least amount of points. Just trying to do very basic technique. Just trying to push the ball straight, no spin, right down the middle. And I was getting gutter balls. And then I kind of learned that you could theoretically practice bowling, but a lot of the people there also didn't really practice bowling. How congenially bad my brain is at precisely controlling my body, especially under pressure and like when I try to do some sort of exertion. It's kind of like revealed that to me, and man, it's painful. But it's not by that means in which I'll obtain my glory, right? I'll do that in some intellectual way, and not some sort of way of sports. But man, I'm bad at sports. That may have something to do with why that jump back there is so hard for me. I don't know. Actually, like some occupational therapist or whatever at elementary school diagnosed, if you can call it diagnosed, me with something that's actually like explains that. I actually have like some sort of disorder that makes me bad at sports inherently. Not quite, doesn't affect video games quite as much, but it seems like it could a little bit, especially as a video game like this. Okay. Well, I'll continue to spin my wheels some other day. If I can tab out.